What's up, hippo lovers on YouTube? We will do something that I've never done before, but I'm really excited about. We will read Reddit. Reddit is basically an internet forum where topics and posts are rated. So basically, if you like this topic, right now it has 85 upvotes. And if I like this one, I can make it 86, and then it will get rated higher and more people will see it. And we will do the same with comments, right? 137 upvotes right now, and if we like it, we can rate it higher and more people will see it. And we are going through Unpopular AoE 2 opinions. So the highest rated content is, although competitive play kept the game alive, I think playing custom scenarios and campaigns are more fun. Absolutely popular opinion. So missing the thread a bit, but I can understand where they're coming from. I think like 70% of all gameplay is single player and like campaigns, and only like 30% are playing multiplayer. So that unpopular, a lot of us like that. Yeah. For example, I'm upvoting him because I agree, right? That's how this one could work. Campaign test your skills to a different level. Yeah, stuff like that. So we will mainly read through the first post and not too much onto the comments there. Fortified Palisade should be a cheap castle age tech at the university. Would allow you to profit a bit more from your feudal walls. Ooh, that would make the game more campy. Truly unpopular. Yeah. And houses should go down much more easily. People would use more stone walls, fortified walls. I agree with that. I think that would make the game better, and not a lot of people are talking about it. Not sure why he's playing the Byzantines, like a Byzantines friend, and his houses even have more HP. So, but what I really want to do is not read through the comments that are liked quite a bit, but we're actually scrolling down to the very bottom. And we will go down and read what are the most downvoted comments. What people disagree with the most with. What people really don't like. And we will go through that one. TCs are too strong defensively. I don't like they could make a mess of, say, 12 Kongs and go on. Oh, my opponent has a TC on each resource and siege nearby to build mangoes to kill my mangs. So my army is useless unless I drop a forward castle. Sort by controversial for that? Should we do that? Does that make more sense? Where is my scroll thingy? Okay. How do I sort by controversial? In here. Oh, sort by controversial. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So most of the posts I didn't read now. So let's see. Walls need to be nerfed, especially repairing is OP. How one wall can repair so fast when he is attacked. Walls cost only 2 wood, exclamation point. Often heard that person walling would be behind ignoring me, and how so? It does cost 2 wood per palisade, also goes up fast. Well, you only one tile out of the whole map, right? And opportunity costs are never in walling costs as well, right? The villager needs to build the wall, need to get there, get away, and can't collect resources there. Archers are too OP in H2. Cheap and fast to produce, easily to mass. Upgrades are fast and cheap. Even their counter scums and cavalry can struggle to clean them up if archers are in high numbers. If you just got a bit of micro skills, Mangle will just melt against them as well. Oh, they're the only unit that can go through wall, cause repairing will die to arrow. Current meta of walling reinforces archers. Yeah. I think that person doesn't upgrade their skirms well enough. Skirms are really good. Like skirms, if you get both armors, elite skirms, or the first armor for normal skirms, you're doing really fine. Oh, yeah. It's not the 2 wood, it's spend villager time walking 25 seconds per tile. If I'm walling 25 seconds per tile? I think your wall's shorter than 25 seconds per tile. What? Palisade wall takes 7 seconds. Yeah. Spreading misinformation, but yeah. Yeah, it's 7 seconds and it was 5 seconds. Let's upload that one. Okay, let's read the Hun should be removed from the game. Yeah. I don't agree with that one. Truly unpopular opinion, so I can see that. And I'm not sure why we would downvote that one. 25 seconds to the house, yeah. It sounds like you thought of something no one would say and typed it out. It's a bit, I like that one. Yeah, I don't really know where that person is going. And I think Huns are in a good spot. They have lots of identity and are really balanced. I like them. The best unpopular opinion on the stretch should be at the bottom. Keep downvoting, boys. The best unpopular opinion to the thread should be at the bottom. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like that. Manually queuing wills is no more rewarding than manually reseeding farms. NTC should have an auto-create will button like mills have with farms. Pursue would be horrified, but 3 weeks and people would realize it was more fun. Ooh, interesting. That is unpopular for sure. And there are some games that have mechanics like this, and even RTS games, right? I think for the very casual, I will sit with a beer in my hand, Sunday evening players. That's not bad. Large part of the skill in the game is constant creating builds. Yeah? But that is the skill version. Is that the fun version? The thing is, if we have lots of quality of life features, we can get more into strategy, right? Lots of Age of Empires is simply executing. And the more the game does for you, the more you can focus on strategies. So I don't think that is too bad. Obviously, like, it would completely change competitive Age of Empires, and it would kill a lot of the skill when it comes to all the macroing and execution. But I think for the very casuals, it's not that bad. People need to stop complaining about Smurf. Ooh, also interesting. In AoE3, the Turks get auto-create wilds with no food cost. Okay. What about auto-creating army? Also sounds really tricky. People need to stop complaining about Smurfs. I think Smurfs are bad for the game. And people that intentionally play the game to win more and make others lose more with exactly that intention is bad. What people are confusing others with Smurfs. Quite like people give the like Smurf stamp way too quickly, right? Someone like MBL having 3 accounts at 2.5k. I don't really get it why he's doing it, but I think he's only hurting people the first 40 games. And now that I'm speaking it out, I already hear how dumb that sounded. Yeah, like I think Smurfs are a problem. Yeah, it's about queue time, lol. Yeah, if it's about queue times, why does he have 3 accounts that have the same rating? The queue time is the same. What about Chinese 2.3k players who play with their low elo donors so they finally win? That's not smurfing, but that's also tricky, right? If they don't, like, for example, if I play team games, I have like I don't even know what rating, 2.4k team game rating, but I would be worth like 3.3k or something in that ballpark, random numbers. And people think like I'm smurfing, but actually I simply didn't get the points. So I'm actually on my way up, and the system should be a bit different, but I'm not a Smurf. People complain about Smurfs, who are 90% of the time not even real Smurf. It's basically people complaining about being bad players. Change my mind. Yeah, I disagree with that. Basically, people complaining about Smurfs is basically people complaining about being bad players. What? The fact that indeed people see Smurfs every time they lose doesn't change the fact that Smurfs exist and that their guys have a clear ego issue. That's not every Smurf also, right? But, I like cussing out people when I win or lose, or the complaining about the salty and toxic players. Man, little bitch. Holy. You are what's wrong with the internet. Oh, God. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Yeah, that is truly unpopular, an unpopular opinion, but I think you are making the world the worst place. Oof. Oof. I hope they stop 40 Civ, and even then I think it's too much. Not too unpopular, and 40 is nice because then we finally have the matrix of 8 times 5 and not this one single spot left. People below 1400 shouldn't even think about strategy if they want to improve only execution. For below 1200 I would even go more narrow and only focus on microing perfectly. Oh, that's tricky. So for example, you know, when I coach on stream, I do a lot of like, okay, you play and we talk about strategy and what we could improve. That is not the best way to get better.
Amazon shouldn't get my money, but you should.
Congrats, thanks. The coaching I do on stream is not the best way to get better. And people hate that if they get into coaching and I ask them, okay, like how much fun do you also want to have during this coaching, right? And if like I had someone who desperately wanted to get better and I said like, yeah, it's not going to be a nice way and it won't be that enjoyable, but we can get you better quite faster. And we simply did 15 games till the first 12 minutes. And just execution Dark Age. And oh boy, did they jump like 200 points in a month. Right? Because it's just like this like getting the basics down and getting the execution right is just so much more important. But that's not the beauty of the game, right? It is about like tech switches, unit counters, strategy, map control, and all this what like we casters are trying to show you and trying to give you love for the game, and it is a strategy game after all. So yeah, people below 1400 shouldn't even think about strategy. They don't need to, like they can go to 1400 way easier without thinking about strategy. But it is a strategy game, and that's the law for the game, so I think they should think about it. Right? Because that gives you way more enjoyment than perfecting a build order. For below 1200 I would even go narrow as they only focus on macroing perfectly. If you want to get to 1200 quickly, yes. Those true in Woobly, but the is still much higher than you're under impression of. I've seen 1x players that have pretty good macro. Yeah. Agreed. Okay, oh, okay, no strategy. For example, if my opponent counters me, I should try to change my army composition, but try to dodge every arrow with my pikes to win. My important resources are in front of my base. I shouldn't think about gaining map control, but just think about doing perfectly built order, and I'll see how it goes. Thanks, man. He wants to be sarcastic, but he's actually right. Right? If you know the counter, then you know that rock beats scissors. But if your build order is so good that you get 3 scissors beat 1 rock. So if you constantly throw in more scissors at your opponent, and he's trying like, oh, I tried to switch into rock, and then I'm trying to prepare the switch for scissors because he wants to go paper next. No. For 1200, just throw scissors at them and you easily win. But yeah, obviously if you have the same amount, then strategy wins. They should nerf boost civs so that bottom civ is suddenly top 3 and top civ suddenly is trash. So that players get to specialize each civ because it's winning civ at the time. They should nerf boost civ so that a bottom civ is suddenly top 3 and a top 3 civ is suddenly trash. So that players get to specialize each civ because it's the winning civ at the time. I like non-meta plays more than perfectly meta plays. Whew. Truly unpopular. So you got the threat. Or they got the threat. I think that person is simply not going with the meta time. Because if a civilization is top 3, was bottom 3 before, and it now is top 3, it is meta. The person is just asking for a change of meta. And I think that that's a reasonable request. We are trying to get that by changing the game format. We are trying to change that by maps. And some balance changes are trying to address that. But, like, force them to be unplayable because they got played too much. We are doing that a bit with civ drafting, right? If a civ is top 3, it gets first banned and then sniped. If it's bottom 3, unlikely that we will see it, simply because we have so few. But also didn't we have the reversed civ drafting thingy? Where you draft for your opponent and we only played with the bad civilizations? I cashed a whooping like $1.60 in that one. Let me see if I find that. Super League. Right? Here. Look at my great cash there. $1.95. Right? That was a tournament where you did draft for your opponent. For example, look at the finals. We had Turks, Celts, Burmese, Teutons, Inca, Persians, Sicilians, Goth, and Spanish versus Bulgarians. $1.95. Impressive to my resume, right? Okay. The current use of micro in competitive play shouldn't exist, in my opinion. Okay, splitting formations, hardcore micro, dodging ballistics. It's definitely not what made me fall in love with the game. I've always preferred the macro army comp gameplay from AoE much more what current pros need to do to win. Don't get me wrong, it requires skill, but it never felt like AoE to me. Did they never see a game of doubt? He's not splitting formations. If he sees a mangonel, he just runs. Archer micro. Didn't dodge ballistics. So, like, that one probably is watching a lot like Lyri, Hera, and how good they are performing right now. But to be, let's say, a top 100 player, you don't need to do any of those 3 things. But yeah, obviously we are now seeing how good people are macroing, and on top of that, they can also micro. For example, I think that one of Hera's weaknesses is potentially over-microing. And he's taking those 8 against 6 crossbow fights and sometimes idles behind it a bit too much and floating a bit too many resources. Obviously very nitpicky here, but it's a lot of the camera, and also that's what's always shown, right? A camera person is not... I wanted to say cameraman, but in 2021 we can say camera person, right? Like, an observer is not showing macro. An observer is always showing army, the splits, the micro, and if you watch a POV, they are showing that as well, and you see the macro at the bottom area. Yeah. And yeah, I can see why it doesn't feel like AoE. It's not like you're building an empire and trying to mass army and see how they fight against each other, and it's this colossal fight. It is for micro nerds, and it's like very much esports and trying to push the game to its limits. It's not the builder, yeah. Any new Civ after the E came out was a mistake. Optimizing this game and put new stuff in AoE 4. The game is just a mess and unbalanced Civ now, and I paid for a definitive edition. I understand they need to make money, but I'd rather have them add cosmetics, music, or new campaigns with existing Civs. They did add new campaigns with civs. And okay. I don't think people would really pay that much for new music. And cosmetics is kind of tricky as well, because people are old. I think you need to make money to have those server costs covered. I don't see this working too well for Age of Empires. But yeah, I'm obviously heavily against adding new civilizations, so yeah. Paladins are in team games are too strong. No real counter that's fast enough except camels, which only a few civs have. Therefore, they should have some same amount of HP. 140 before Bloodlines as Imp camels, and in return they get their 0.1 attack decrease back, which they lose in the upgrade from Cavalier. Also in return, they could tune down Paladin upgrades. What? So he's basically saying make them Cavaliers. Only at 20%, 20 HP. Mainly gold cost, a bit make them a viable 1v1. I would like that. It would make civs like Franks, Burgundians, and all these Paladin civs weaker in team games, and better 1v1 statistics show what makes sense. I don't mind that. Often not a big fan of death counter opinions, but I think games are heavily designed around Paladins, yeah. And having them more on 1v1 would be good. I think Harp Siege close maps is too strong with little counter. Close maps too strong, little counter. Monks, Bombard Cannons, and Eagles. Also, Harp Siege's close map is too strong with little counter. Monks counter, Bombard Cannon counter, Bombard Cannon counter, Eagles counter. Your own onagers are not losing to it. I don't agree with that part. Walling is too strong. There's not enough reliable AoE. Macro is too important. I like it more like it is in StarCraft. Not unpopular. Using mods like small trees is almost cheating. Black Forest should be played unexplored. Everyone should play with Standard Victory and Random Civ. Okay. Using mods like small trees is almost cheating. In the past, we did play Age of Empires with this one, right? One player spawning here. Let's make it a bit different. One player spawning here. One player spawning there. And we had wood lines. Let's say like this, right? And now you choose which woodline to go for. And you cannot micro villagers on top of it. So they're always bugging out, right? And I think I can zoom in a bit more, right? So, for example, if you're red and if you're blue, you always want to pick you want to build your lumber camp here, right? So now blue has the problem. They can't build the lumber camp properly, right? They want to build it here, but that is unmicroable. So when the game came out, it actually was better to spawn at the top. Because you could have a defensive lumber camp and can micro your villagers. So blue was in disadvantage. Didn't really matter at that time, but you were happy when you're spawning at the top. So I think small trees makes the game more fair. Black Forest should be played unexplored. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, not really sure. I think it would get more sneaks. And that's not really what people are looking for. Music's too loud? Okay. Could have told me earlier. What is meant with microing builds? Like clicking them on a proper tree. Clicking them on which tree you want them to go next, for example. And Black Forest. So I'm not really sure if this is in the intention of Black Forest, like playing your walled games, build your economy. If it's unexplored, it gets more wild. Everyone should play with Standard Victory and Random Civ. If you're a fan of Britons, why should you get forced to play something that you don't like? I don't like to play with Civilization X if I get it with random. The game should be fun. Okay, let's read three more, and then we call it for YouTube. Archer line should be nerfed. They shouldn't get bonus versus spear. So hand cannoneers would be more emphasized as infantry counter. If the archer line was worse, then that wouldn't make hand cannoneer better. Also, that would just mean that people can play more siege. Archer get +3 attack against spearmen, yeah, skinny. Archers +3 against spearmen. Hand cannoneers are heavily underused, yeah. But I think we should address hand cannoneers, not make the archer line. The problem is, if we change anything about the basic units, which I believe are like spearman, skirm, archer, scout, knight, roughly, right? Let's say militia line as well. If we change one single stat, I think that could break the whole game. Because the whole balance is around those. Maybe you can count camel as well. And eagle. And like, if you give scouts +1 attack, it would change the complete outcome of everything. Just look at Magia Mirror, plays so much different to Hunt's Mirror. And it's like one stat differently. AO2 needs more European civs. Pui! Unpopular. Yeah. Let's just scroll over that. Oh, but lots of people have some opinions there. I won't go into that. We should stop saying Vololo. It doesn't exist in AoE2, and even in AoE1 the priests don't sound like that. It's more like ayo you. I'm gonna just lie to all of us. Unpopular enough for you? I'm not... Okay. I will try to tell the story as... without outing someone. So, I was sitting with some influential people in the Age of Empires world together. And we were in a semi-public place and we were talking about Red Bull Vololo. And someone asked, oh, why is it called Vololo? And I said, yeah, it's a meme out of Age of Empires 1 with the monks. And a bypasser said, no, it's Age of Empires 2. And I was, I always thought it's Age of Empires 1. And he's like, yeah, then you probably don't know much about the game. And I said like, okay, today I learned. And like everyone was just waiting for him to pass, and then looked at, like, even said like, Nelly, what are we paying you for? Yeah, that was, yeah. Yeah, and they were so convincing, like so convinced themselves that I even looked it up afterwards. And yeah, I know it's Age of Empires 1, but they were so confident. I just let it go. Okay, last one. Memes on the sub are absolutely garbage and super unfunny compared to other subreddits. Well, that's a call to action that I need to post more memes, not only on my Twitter, but also on AoE Zone, on Reddit. Okay. Okay. I think to not make it too long, I think we will put a stop here for YouTube. If you enjoyed this, I think I will post the link down below for the Twitch VOD, and you can see a bit more how we are discussing about some more ideas. And give me your most unpopular AoE2 opinion that still makes sense and is not trying to offend anyone. I would be interested to read those. Goodbye, beloveds on YouTube.